So one of the summer shows I wanted to talk about was Wilfred. Obviously another comedy, but it's the final season.
Also an FX comedy.
Well, FXX now.
Well, but it
I
originated.
know.
It's
I
an
feel
FX
like that
brand.
whole thing threw a lot of people.
It confuses the hell out of me.
But
sorry, language.
But I mean, it's in its final season, and it's a show that I always really liked because it was outside of the box, and it was weird, and it was I mean, look, it's a guy whose best friend is a dog, but he sees a man in a dog costume. So obviously there's something else going on there. And over the seasons, they've really played with the idea of what is going on there. Is there some sort of conspiracy? Does he have some sort of mental illness? And when they said that this was going to be the final season, the creator came back and is wrapping it up the way that he feels fit for the story. And they've done a really good job, I think, about giving you the weird, wacky episodes where they have their antics and they have their adventures together, but peppering it with that bigger picture story and kind of saying, look, we know that we've, over the years, teased a lot of possibilities for what Wilfred is and why Ryan sees him this way. And they've done a really good job, I think, about going back to those and saying no, it's not to certain things and still exploring. There's obviously a few more episodes left, but still exploring that. But they've also evolved the characters in a weird way that I didn't expect because they seem so damaged and they seem so, the show started when Ryan, basically tried to commit suicide. And so, to get him from there to, a guy hanging out with a dog smoking pot all day to a person now who could theoretically be happy in a relationship, I think has been an interesting progression in a kind of offbeat, unconventional way. And then in the last couple episodes, they went so dark with Wilfred in a place that I didn't expect them to go that I was just really... Part of why I like the show as much as I like is because it does these unexpected things, and a lot of times it's the weird or the wacky stuff, but this time it felt very grounded in reality, and it felt very there's your closure. Regardless of what Wilfred is or, why Ryan sees him that way, he's in his life for a reason. He brought him to this girl that he's in love with. He's created this weird family and this place where Ryan can thrive and be okay. But it's one of those shows where if they gave it a tacked on happy ending, it just would feel weird and not like the show itself, wouldn't fit the full tone. So, with a few episodes left, it seems like they're taking it down this balanced path of one of you is up and the other one is down. And I also just think they've done a really good job about bringing back past characters and seeing them again and utilizing their guest stars. And it's just one of those comedies where you don't have to watch it every week. You can binge it, you can watch a few episodes at a time. You can catch up with it later, but it's enjoyable no matter when you watch it. And you can look for a deeper message in it, or you can also just take it at face value and say, I'm going to go along on this crazy ride with it, and it's going to be fun, and I trust them to tell an interesting close-ended story. So, I'm sad to see it go, but at the same time, I'm happy with the way that they're at least closing the story, which is not something that I say about a lot of series. Even when they know they have an ending, they don't always work their way up to it so well. So
I think
hopefully I won't change my mind seeing the next batch of episodes.
Often I think it's when a show goes into a final season, knowing it's final season before they even start production, I think it's much more difficult for a show to end right. I think more often than not, I'm pleased with finales if they know midway through the season, which is weird because you think it'd be the other way around, but I think the pressure of it being a final season and the acknowledgement of everything that means, I think it often does not make for the strongest seasons for a lot of shows.
Yeah, I don't know that I would say this is the strongest season of the show. I haven't seen the whole season. I don't know that I'd say it's the strongest one overall, but I at least feel like they're not dragging things out. They're not rushing things. They're telling a story that feels very true to Wilfred.